Another tool found in the G Suite environment is called Google Slides. Google Slides is a presentation software much like a PowerPoint. And just like Google Docs, we can access it many different ways. Again, we can come over to our waffle over here. It should be in this first category or this first section here. If not, just scroll down. Mine happens to be in the second row. I click on that and it's going to take me to my template search. And so what you're going to notice, again, just like Docs, all of the recent presentations that I've done show up here. And I can also click on my template gallery. Now there's nothing for Beyond the Chalk. However, if I click in the general status, you notice I get all these different templates here that I can use. I'm going to come back, so I went one back here real quick. I'm going to come back here to the first page and I'm going to just click on a blank template here. So what that's going to do is that's going to launch Google Slides. It's going to give me several things. Now it's giving me a hint here that I can add something to this, and I'm going to say no thanks right now. The first thing that happens when you open up Google Slides is you get this panel over here that's asking you what kind of presentation theme do you want to choose. And so I'm going to pick this orange one right here. And when I click that, what it does is it basically selects a font unique to that theme. It selects a color, a pattern, those types of things. So if we're done with our themes, again, what we can do is we can just simply click right here. One thing before I do that, I want you to note, I can actually import themes. So if somebody shared a Google slide with me, a slide deck with me, and I really like the theme they use, I can actually just go out and find it by simply clicking on Import Theme, and it's going to go and look at these presentations here that I have. So I could pick any one of these that I wanted to. Also note that we have speaker notes down here, similar to other presentation software. I also can choose between a grid-based type of view, so if I have more slides, they're going to show up right here, versus this is more of an outline editing view that I choose typically with my presentations. I'm going to close this theme right here since I'm done with that. And now I can start designing my theme here. Now before I do that, however, one thing you need to do is just name your presentation, right? So I would just call it Jeff's test, and and I better capitalize that. So Jeff's, presentation. Wow. And let's just correct this little mess over here, and there we have my title finally. All right. Again, when I do it this way, it basically has put it into my drive. So thinking about where you want this to be, I'm going to go ahead and throw it into my Google class right here. And again, I can actually create a new folder if I'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it into this class right here. It's telling me that this is shared. Am I sure I want to do this? I'm going to go ahead and click on yes. So I've just gone ahead and I've organized my presentation. So it's usually a good thing to do right off the bat with any kind of new document you create in Google. So now I'm here, Jeff's presentation, all right. Zentation, all right, we go here. And I can add lots of different information here if I need to. Now, I'm done with this slide. I want to add a new slide here. I simply come over here to my plus sign. If I just want to add a new slide and I want Google to figure out what that slide should be, I'm just going to hit the plus button. However, if I want to choose from all of the different layout options, I can select this little down arrow here and it will allow me to choose from any one of these. So I kind of like this one here. So I'm going to pick this one as the next one. And I'm just going to call this slide 1. All right. I can add text here. I can add a subtitle if I need to. And I can continue to add. And I'm going to go ahead and call this slide 2. And let's say I like this slide and I want to duplicate it. So instead of coming up here to plus, I'm just simply going to right click right here, click on duplicate slide, and now all I have to do is come in here and say slide 3. So I'm just really quickly and easily laying out my slide deck here to take into consideration what my main points are. So slide 1, 2, and 3. Now, each one of these slides here, I can do lots of things to. So I can take and I can delete it, I can change the background, I can apply a layout. Again, these are all the layouts I have. I can even change a theme, add a transition, and those things. Those are lots of things you can do for each one of these slides simply by right-clicking on it and selecting one of these items here. Let's take a look at our toolbar here, and you'll notice that some of the icons you saw in Google Docs are similar. So I can undo, redo, I can actually print this document piece here. I can do some different things like zoom, make sure it fits, those types of things. I can also come in here and add images and different things. Again, we see this same piece here. If I go to Drive, it's going to go through, it's going to find my most recent images. So those are some of those. This is a great picture of the University of Montana. So I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to go ahead and insert this, and that's going to throw that in. Now that's going to basically take up my entire slide if I don't want that. I've got my resize little tabs right here, and maybe I just want to put this right into this space right here. So I can very quickly and easily add images and move those around, change size, do whatever here, simply by clicking on this little bar right here with the images here. And again, I want you to notice that you can also do something like you take it from your camera. So if you're using Chromebooks, this is a great way to get students to take their own pictures and add those in. If I have a URL, I can even search the web or upload from my computer. I'm going to go to slide 2. I'm going to move to this next tool, which are the shapes. So these shapes are kind of cool. So I can go in and I can actually pick a shape here, and I can come out and I can add a shape to my slide. And let's say I want to take and I want this to point at this particular spot right over here, but I don't like how it's just, horizontal. Whenever you see a little dot right up here above some of these resize boxes, what it'll allow you to do is that will allow you to take and rotate that around. So I've got it kind of like that now, and I'm just clicking, I'm going to point right to this area. Now I want to change the color, so notice that when I have this, when I don't have this highlighted, some of the tools are gone. When I highlight it, some of the tools come back. So I'm going to change that color to a red, a nice bright red. I'm going to change the outline to a dark blue, and now I've got my arrow formatted to the color and the size that I want. Again, I can take and I can change this up a little bit if I need to as I move through. So let's talk about this slide here. So let's go on to one of the other tools. So here you notice I've got different lines and curves, and so if you're trying to create flow charts, those types of things, we can add these types of lines in. You can even use comments here as well. We won't get into that just yet. But let's just say I want to change the background color for a slide. I don't want to change the whole presentation, just one of the slides. I can simply come down here. Let's just make it all orange. So I do that, and now I'm done, and I've got this is now all orange here. So it's basically just these tools here, incredibly powerful, allow you to do lots of different things with inside of Google Slides that make your presentation really stand out from others. Now let's look at some of the other features found, not necessarily on the toolbar, but up here in some of these menus here. I like to do the insert, because with the insert here, it allows me to do some different things. I can add a diagram. A lot of folks want to know how to add a video, so I'm just going to click on the video here, and what you'll notice is that I can search for different videos, and I'm just going to type in Google Slides, and I'm going to do a search for them. So how to quick tutorial for Google Slides. If I click on this, basically what it allows me to do is just select, and then it's going to go ahead and embed that video right into here. Again, I can take and expand that out so it takes up a majority of the screen here. And notice that when I line this up, it will actually take and use these red lines to show me where the middle of the slide is horizontally and vertically. So if I want to get it lined up exactly, when I see that cross of those two red lines, both horizontal and vertical, that means I've got it right in the middle of the slide there. I don't like some of these boxes behind. I simply highlight it once, hit the delete key. I can do the same thing here to that. So now that's gone from view there. So that's really simple. The insert, again, you can try out some of these other ones on here and really kind of go crazy with your slide deck and how you've arranged it, those types of things. A couple other thoughts here. Let's say I wanted this slide to be slide 2. I simply click, hold, and drag, and I can drag that down. Let's say I want this one down below. So I can very quickly reorganize my slides to just to be in the order that I'd like them to be in. I want you to also notice that under Tools, we have some similar tools that we saw in Docs. We have our Explore piece. So again, if you're looking at ways to increase or change or add more to your Google Slides, I can come out here. I can look at dolphins, and again, it's going to give me the same thing. I put in minus Miami, and that's going to give me images on dolphins. And so this is a quick, easy way for students to get images into their slide presentations. Again, I didn't have to go out to the web, search for images, those types of things. I simply use the Explore tool to look for those different resources here, in this case on dolphins. So that's a really powerful piece there that you can use or find inside of Google Slides as well. So that's the basics of Google Slides. And hopefully that helps you to very quickly navigate and work within the slide presentation tool.